What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So I'm interrupting some of my work that I'm doing or trying to plan out for just a fun video. One of my audience members here suggested that I do a video regarding combat, but something else has come up. So for those of you who know, in this community, we have been pining for a Superman game. In fact, secretly, the Suicide Squad game is kind of a disappointment to the fans who've been looking forward to playing as Superman someday. Because if you kind of think about it, the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game is a game where the Suicide Squad are the protagonists in a sense, and they're going to be confronting a corrupt Justice League. And more importantly, in the first reveal trailer, we saw a corrupt Superman. And that corrupt Superman trope has gotten so old and worn a lot of fans out that it will be nice for us to actually see the superhero Superman in a video game and play as him. So Warner Brothers Games Montreal right now has been reportedly looking for a senior producer. In fact, someone that's on Twitter that usually gives a lot of his opinions and a lot of takes regarding and surrounding video games, James Sigfield, has basically posted this job description here that says Warner Brothers Games Montreal, a division of Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, is looking for a senior producer to join its game development team working on AAA titles set in the DC Comics universe. Now we have to go back and trace a lot of these particular reasons surrounding why people are thinking that this senior producer might be in a position to be working on a Superman game in the studio. There's a lot here. I've made past videos regarding some of this, but I think it's quite pertinent that we kind of look and be able to say, okay, we're not just spitting out bullocks, but we actually have some things that we think are pointing this direction. So first of all, the Superman game that was in production around the 2006, 2007, 2008 season was actually being done by another studio. This studio actually went bankrupt in a sense because their publisher folded up and left the business during the financial crisis of 2007. This studio has nothing to do with Warner Brothers. They were just able to acquire the license for them to make a Superman game. It is from this studio that you see those leaked footage or gameplay footage where you see Superman and Doomsday fighting in some parking lot. If you've seen that before, then that is what that development team was working on. It just happened to come out after the project had been folded. For the longest time, we had already said, most of us in the community who didn't necessarily know too much already blamed Warner Brothers for canceling a lot of these Superman projects because there was talk that other producers and directors had been pitching all kinds of different ideas to get a Superman game off the ground, but Warner Brothers did not seem to be interested in it. There were also rumors that Rocksteady may have pitched a Superman game, but Rocksteady basically did not get the green light, and so this is why they're working on this Suicide Squad game, or maybe they just didn't do it and we just thought so. But for the most part, one of the most interesting rumors that we have heard is Warner Brothers Games Montreal and their potential Superman game. Now, in a 2015 IGN production, a very short IGN daily take, one of the presenters actually mentioned
Batman Arkham Origins developer Warner Brothers Games Montreal is hiring for not one, but two new AAA games that will expand the DC Comics universe. Now, the studio isn't detailing exactly what the projects are, but I know I'm dying for a Dollman game. Guys, it was a joke. Like you, I would love for there to finally be a good Superman game. Or hey, how about some Suicide Squad action? Either way, I'm stoked.
And this was very interesting. This was quite peculiar because for the longest time, nobody really knew at that time what Warner Brothers Games Montreal was doing. In fact, at that time, the game that was still in circulation was Batman Arkham Knight. And so this was really interesting for a lot of people to be able to say, well, we wonder what that's going to look like, but there was nothing ever said or mentioned about that. Fast forward a few years later down the road, a developer who worked at Warner Brothers Montreal at that time, who was a senior developer, his name is Osama Dorias, actually was on a podcast which at the time was called the Humans of Gaming podcast, and he was talking about a lot of things surrounding the gaming industry. It's a very interesting episode, and in that particular episode, he said in their studio they were working on two video games that were surrounding the DC superheroes, the characters within the universe. And he mentioned and said 2. Now, at this time, we didn't even know that Gotham Knights was the game they were working on. We had rumors about a canceled Damian Wayne game. And so now that we've actually seen one of those games, it seems to lean towards this reasoning that the second game is a Superman game. And so many of us started to kind of keep track and follow and say, man, what in the world is going on? Now, within that podcast as well, Osama Dorias kind of let out a little bit of the cat from the bag, not too much, but he said something about one of the heroes being his favorite superheroes. Now, most of us on the internet, we started to do a little bit more digging, and sorry, Osama, we had to kind of Instagram stalk you. And on Instagram, he actually has a really cool picture that he took with a Superman poster while he was on a trip somewhere. Now, this could all mean nothing, but it seems like the pieces of this really jaded puzzle start to seem to add up to the possibility that a Superman game is in production in this studio. Now, it could be that it's not a Superman game, but who cares? It's a DC superhero, and I think many of us are excited about it. And so we already have, in my opinion, what I think is kind of a limited set of iconic heroes that we can pick from. Who knows? It could be an Arrow game. It could be a Flash game. I mean, it could be a Green Lantern game. These are some of the superheroes within the Justice League, within the DC realm that a lot of people are looking forward to. But man, it could also be a Batman game as well. I mean, you never know. They could say, you know, from this is Gotham Knights is his own universe. We're going to go ahead and make another Batman game in a whole different universe that has a different style appeal or whatever it is. But most of us here in the community are hoping that this is possibly a Superman game in the making that we're looking forward to. And I know many might say a Superman game is challenging or difficult to make, but the reality is Superman is such a unique character. If you know the way the character is, if you know the character's history, you can write a solid Superman game. I'll take my time to do a curation of what a Superman game could look like if anybody was to decide that they wanted to do a story. In fact, if you want to start reading on something, James Sigfield himself, who's one of the biggest Superman fans and has been an advocate for making a Superman game, has shared many times how he thinks a Superman game could actually work. In fact, he has a whole pitch document that he's published on Twitter in the past. But these so far are my thoughts regarding this particular job position. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking, and hopefully we'll continue this conversation very soon. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.